Hello, I welcome you to a discussion on the topic pharmacology and religion. You see, pharmacology is that division of medicine which is concerned with the use, implications and modes of action of drugs. Religion, on the other hand, is usually viewed as a set of beliefs, practices and rituals integrated within some institution or organization. At the very beginning, it is very important to discuss the various sections which this module encompasses. This article has been differentiated into 5 segments along with an introductory portion in order to analyze the deep relationship existing between pharmacology and religion. In the first section, we will discuss about different theoretical outlooks related to pharmacology and religion. Different viewpoints will be analyzed with regard to the connection of religion with pharmacology. Proceeding further to the second section, we will try to examine the link between pharmacology, religion and diseases from a pragmatic as well as from an ethnographic angle. In the third segment, endeavor will be made to analyze the connection shared by pharmacology, religion and mental illnesses. The fourth segment will deal with the inner and non-materialistic reactions to the relationship of pharmacology with religion. In the fifth section, the impact of the different aspects of power and politics on the association between pharmacology and religion will be discussed. Finally, there will be conclusive remarks in order to summarize this module. In majority of the instances, medicine and religion do not seem to have a link with each other. However, they may correspond with each other or sometimes exist together. Unlike the present day Western concept of medicine, which is distinct from the field of religion, there is a deep relationship of religion with ancient forms of medicine. These previous forms of medicine are more traditional and oriental. This study aims to discover different dimensions of medicine which are related to the domain of religion. Excerpts have been cited from various books and articles explaining the link between pharmacology and religion. In this segment, we will discuss about the theoretical point of views from different outlooks dealing with the association between pharmacology and religion. This will make it easier to gain an improved understanding of the basis of ideas corresponding to the link between pharmacology and religion. Let me speak of some abstracts that will help you to grasp the foundation of the bonding shared by religion and medicine. You see, the naturalistic outlook of the world is mainly in transmitting and implementation of scientific medication, and in this, the application of medicine also integrates the notions which are seen to be characteristically religious. Doctors assert their analyses and activities on the basis of the viewpoint of the world that is markedly authentic and precise, which in turn prevents them to counter healers who further contradict outlooks of the world and remedies. Doctors believe in organized ceremonial happenings implemented with virtual apostolic power. They use powerful gestures in order to share the importance and logic behind what they do. As an example, the white coat that physicians wear symbolizes laboratory science, purity, and life. These have an influential role as they activate specific emotions and motivations among the sufferers, such as faith, self-reliance, which in turn reduce their difficulties. Thus, professionals in the field of religion and medicine follow concrete and typical ideas. It is not necessary that the influence of religion on medicine will always be effective or favorable. In fact, based upon the attribute of each particular impression of religion, the influence of religion on any side of human life, whether it is social, psychological, ethical, or moral, can be either positive or negative. The outline of the aim and crucial areas of reciprocation between religion and medicine can thus be seen as including factors which either have a good or a bad effect. The understanding of good or bad are intricate and need systematic scrutiny. The purpose of medicine is to nurture and foster the health of one who is ill. Health, as regarded by Cass, is the altogether security and prosperity of the living beings. The current success in the fields of pharmacology and science are immensely remarkable. However, they should completely complement to the natural human circumstances which cling to the science of nature. Medicine should be one that is real to living, as human beings are individuals that have a reality which exceeds their physical makeup. German medicine identified this spirit which has united the science and is adjacently linked to nature into a Hippocratic oath. This oath is based on the assumption that medicine is an art that is applied as well as an art which has ethics. Medicine is an art as in providing treatment to the patient, where a doctor has to detect and give care to the patient by active examination and uncovering of signs, which also includes a note of the dietary habits of the patient. Medicine is a virtuous skill as it includes a specific oath of what a doctor is supposed to do or what is ethically right or wrong for him. It is the duty of a doctor to give care, support, and work towards the improvement in a patient's health. Apart from this, the doctors should guide the patient in cultivating a positive outlook. Curiously, according to the Hippocratic values, a doctor should behave in a similar manner with all his patients. That is to say, the patients should be treated uniformly. The notion that human beings should attain happiness can be tracked down to the older civilization of Greece and Rome. Happiness is not only an ideological formula but also a political one. For example, in some countries like the United States, the achievement of happiness is considered to be an absolute right. Mental or physical homeostasis is not a fixed, durable, or a desirable element of the human condition. Human beings strive to improve their psychological or physical presentation by expanding and regulating their abilities, consciousness, leading to changed circumstances of the mind and the body. Human beings have advanced progressed through these processes. In this portion of the module, we will try to approve the debate by providing examples which are adequate as well as useful from the ethnographies that are abundant and sources which are distinguishable. These ethnographies help us in developing a better idea about the presumptions of pharmacology and religion. It helps in cultivating our notions in different ways. Present day development of our idea of plague immunity again calls for an assessment for the role it played in medieval Europe. The supposed constant sustainability of rats and humans, which made earlier historians overlook the effect of plague immunity, has been disclosed to be an incorrect idea. The power to resist among animals generally shows how plague may have worked in the medieval age. Human resistance explains the age and sex proneness of the disease. However, these factors of resistance do not give an inclusive explanation of medieval plague. The earliest advancements of the modern scientific phase, shifting itself away from the myths of the past, was its response to the upsurge of leprosy in Europe, which made its way to Norway, resulting in around 3,000 victims. The term leprosy has been derived from the ancient Greek word lepra, which means a kind of disease taking the skin scaly, which means the term leprosy has been derived from the ancient Greek word lepra, which means a kind of disease making the skin scaly, thereby resulting in the peeling off of the skin. Leprosy is a contagious disease that causes serious blemishes and lesions in the skin. It leads to the damage of the nerves of the arms and legs too. Since earlier times, leprosy has been marked by petrifying and negative distress. It mainly damages the skin or the peripheral nerves outside the brain and spinal cord. It may also affect the eyes or the thin tissue lining in the inner side of the nose. The main symptoms of leprosy include swelling of the skin or lump formation that do not disappear easily after a long period of time. Based on the number and types of skin pores a person has, leprosy can be of many types. First is tuberculoid. Tuberculoid is a less serious form of leprosy. People suffering from tuberculoid have only a few patches of flat and light colored skin. The affected area of the skin may look desensitized due to the damaging of nerves. However, tuberculoid is less communicable than other forms. Second is lepromatous. Lepromatous is an extreme form of leprosy. It is more infectious than tuberculoid. It leads to lump and rash formations in the skin, senselessness and weakness of the muscles. The nose, the kidney and male reproductive organs may get affected due to lepromatous. Another is borderline leprosy. In borderline leprosy, people suffer from the symptoms of both tuberculoid and lepromatous. A work on leprosy known as Ohm's Pedalskate has been printed in 1847 by Dr. Daniel Derrilson and Dr. Karl Broek after a complete inspection of the characteristics of leprosy. This work is accepted as the first genuine publication markedly distinguishing between leprosy and other communicable diseases influencing the skin such as the syphilis, poseriasis and scurvy. It also describes two main types of leprosy. Dr. Danielson's son-in-law, Dr. Gerald Armir Hansen's, is regarded as the first person to identify the root cause of leprosy, known as Mycobacterium leprae. He made this discovery while examining a patient's nasal biopsy sample where he found multiple rod-shaped bacilli. In previous times, chaul mogra oil, an extraction from the seeds of Hydrocarpus whiteinia, was used to cure leprosy before the usage of antibiotics had begun. However, these didn't prove to be very advantageous. Surprising benefits of sulfone therapy or bromine, as shown by Dr. Guy Faget of the National Hansen's Disease Center in Corvallis, Louisiana in 1940s, marked the current era of care for leprosy. This detection was designated as the miracle of Corvallis, thereby representing the foundation of real hopes, which then came to be called Hansen's disease, that could be cured with success. During the late 1940s, more findings to curb the poisonous effect of the therapy resulted in the use of drapsin, the parent compound of bromine. Medical inventions and genomic orders have source in and regulate biocommunicability, forming a crucial part of science and medicine, thereby making it separate and free from politics and social relations. Antagonistic fields of communicability consist much more than the stimulation of new communicative behaviors. It takes into account complete alterations in the spreading of capital and power. We need to adjust the fields of communicability in order to make exceptional developments in these unique areas. In the previous sections, we have discussed about diseases that are physical and noticeable. In this portion, we have tried to discover the mental illnesses in the context of pharmacology and religion. This part therefore investigates the association of mental illness with pharmacology and religion. The reason behind the connection of religion and psychiatry consists of the endless debate between science and religion. Different interrogations having a significance, such as determinism, moral liberty, the essence behind good and evil, the picture of man, the purpose of health, must be faced with while handling the association between health and religion. Arrangement of the yearly symposia at Arden House, Harriman in New York is the demonstration of the concern of philosophical discussions of the Academy of Religion and Mental Health. This symposia has been a ground for meeting and communication of philosophers from varied professional areas for the deepest findings of important problems which were not paid much attention to or lacked organization. The activities of the academy during its first decade are notable for giving inspiration towards a multi-professional outlook in order to acquire awareness about health and behavior. The academy is, in fact, playing the role of a national and international structure in giving way, expanding scores of varied projects and activities with the help of its literature, conferences, branches, plot projects, special studies and programs. The influence of the academy has become limitless due to academy's network of communication and membership at a global level. The academy, since its formation, is not only a structure for establishing connections in religion and health, rather it has been influential in forming non-sectarian links by producing close working relationships between clergy of distinct beliefs. Reduction of physical and spiritual distress brought clergy from various belief systems together. However, more importantly, it has been the evaluation of assumptions that have made the psychological ingredients and instincts more clear. This segment evaluates the inner and sacred responses between the association of pharmacology and religion. It helps us in developing an all-inclusive outlook. It explores a viewpoint which exceeds logical notions, including itself in the reason of emotions in the context of pharmacology and religion. This holistic outlook had developed all over the past of medicine like a stable current under the surface. Arturo Castiglione, in the first half of the 20th century, has written in his book, A History of Medicine, that it is the doctor's duty to above all think of their patient's wellness and improvement. As a result, this may be advantageous for the cure provided by the doctor. Shortly, it has been marked by Leon Kass that bodily health does not only mean the body and its parts. It is also influenced by the innermost self with which the body is associated. Kass has opined that there is a considerable influence of our temperament, personality, and entire manner of living on our health. Wellesley was able to predict this analysis. Wellesley's understanding of health as a holistic idea has mainly been the result of his investigation of chosen doctors of the 17th and the 18th centuries. Wellesley obtained topics that could be traced to the classical Greek custom of medicine. The prime topic to be noted was the idea of healthy working of the body. This idea of healthy working can be rooted to its particular understanding about the body. In the last half of the 17th century and the beginning of the 18th century, the body was progressively contemplated, viewed and examined in the context of mechanical assumptions which paralleled the Newtonian perception of the natural sequence. The diminishing of physicians in the Dharmashastras makes it clear that there existed constraints between the Brahmins and the physicians. This was mostly the result of pollution acquired by the physicians because of their association with those who were considered to be outside the Brahmanical boundary. The major reason behind the prominence of Hinduism as a tool for academic analysis investigation is the appearance of the perfect Brahman. However, the emerging picture of socially set and divine order of ecclesiastical Brahmins occupying superior posts in an inflexible caste society originally conferred by the Vedas does not designate the actual history. The main reason behind this assessment is the objectification of a particular economic ethic. We have discussed about the influence of various facets of power and politics in the association between pharmacology and religion in this portion. This segment helps us to acquire a better understanding of subtle potential dynamics which are not easy to differentiate but repeatedly have an impact and have shaped relations. There is a need to notice and describe the conflict in constitutional ethics. It is, however, not possible to harmonize it without mentioning about the considerable unpredictability regarding what is medical in real sense and what is not covered within the medical sphere. What is to be considered to be a part of the field of medicine? In which manner the experts providing treatment can interact? What are the interrelated layers of health and disease at each and every state? What is the meaning of physical as opposed to mental, emotional and spiritual? How are these distinct but related? Which rules are the result of past authority? Which legal rules protect patients and lead to improvement in health? And finally, the way in which the intricate relationship of the different aspects of an individual that comprise of health can be understood must be looked after. It is clear that it is the right and authority of the state to synchronize emotional remedial behaviors as one of the many health management provisions availed by its contributors. The problem that emerges is whether the application of such power will affect the field of healing, which is considered by several as saintly. This in turn takes it beyond the extent and domination of policies of the public as well as the limits placed by law. Thus, after discussing the entire module, we can infer that this paper seeks to throw light on 5 substantial sections, namely theoretical, ethnographic and pragmatic, psychological disease, spirituality and politics with regard to the connection between pharmacology and religion. Each of the segments include theoretical and ethnographic realities in abundance. This module has thus attempted to examine the relationship between pharmacology and religion from the angle of both time and space. Hence, there is debate on a variety of topics like the spread of plague in medieval age Europe, Indian Ayurveda and others. The final aim of this module is to enhance your knowledge both in theory and in practice with examples of the association between pharmacology and religion. Thank you.